What is up, YouTube family? Today we are talking about 5 different types of coats you can rock this fall and winter. I'm going to give you options. I'm going to give you vintage options. I'm going to give you new options. So let's just get into it because I can chit chat all day. Also, I do want to mention I get really bored just walking around in these outfits. So I end up just like doing some random stuff. Don't judge me too much. Or judge me. I don't really care. The first option we have is either an overcoat or a trench coat. Both of these are generally longer coats that you can wear when it's really cold out or when the weather's really bad. Now, the difference between the two is a trench coat is generally used more for like rainy weather and stuff like that, versus an overcoat is generally made out of wool or some sort of wool blend. When it comes to overcoats, some of the details that you want to look out for is you want it to fall below the knee. This is just a more traditional look that I think looks better across different aesthetics. See, before the like 1940s or 50s, I want to say, I don't remember the exact year, but they used to make overcoats really long that went past your knee. But as automobiles got way more popular, they shortened the length so that people could get in and out of cars easier. And while that functionality is nice, I don't have a problem getting in and out of cars in a long coat. So it's like, I don't know really what that was all about. In terms of styling, there's a lot of different options you can go with, and you can really wear an overcoat with almost any type of outfit. I've done anything from literally a grout fit with an overcoat on to a button-up shirt to a suit. I've done it all, and it all looks really good. That's why I think an overcoat is just one of the most versatile pieces you can have in your wardrobe. Also, it's one of those things that's just going to mature your look overall. If you want to find a new overcoat or trench coat, some brands I would look out for are California Arts. They actually just came out with this Manhattan oversized overcoat, and I think it looks absolutely beautiful. Madewell has one that I really do like, and COS always has some sort of long coat options. But I really think going vintage here is the best option, and that's what I've done in the past. My trench coat is a vintage London Fog trench coat that I found from Goodwill like a few years ago. It's technically a women's coat, but it fits me well. My overcoat, on the other hand, is from Ralph Lauren, and it's also vintage, and I got it for like $100 online. Was it $100? Where did I get that jacket? Maybe I didn't get it from Goodwill. Where the hell did I get that jacket? I don't know. Anyways, it's vintage Ralph Lauren. Some vintage brands to look out for when it comes to an overcoat are Chaps and Ralph Lauren, Burberry, London Fog, and Armani. All of these companies made really great overcoats and trench coats in the early 90s and 80s that are just absolutely stunning. And you can find them for really, really good deals online if you just hunt a little bit. The next kind of jacket I'm going to be wearing a lot this fall winter is a blazer. I don't really know if this counts as a jacket, but whatever, it's my freaking video. I personally have 3 kinds of blazers that I wear pretty heavily in rotation. The first one is this leather blazer that I'm absolutely in love with. It's a little bit oversized on me, but I actually really like it because it allows it to be dressed into streetwear type fits as well as more classic Americana type fits. It levels up those super casual outfits, like something as simple as a white t-shirt and jeans can be leveled up so much by just throwing on a leather blazer. When I first picked this piece up, I really didn't think I'd wear it as much as I have, but as soon as I incorporated it into my wardrobe, I've worn it so often. And it is one of the most complimented pieces in my wardrobe. The next kind of blazer I like to rock is like the vintage designer kind of slim fitting blazer. That's what you're seeing here. This is a vintage Yves Saint Laurent blazer that I picked up for $25 on eBay. And the thing with these kinds of blazers is there's so many, and there were so many made in the 80s and 90s, that you really can find incredible deals on things like eBay, Depop, and Mercari. Because every single major American menswear brand that existed in the 80s and 90s made some sort of blazer because it was such an integral part of everyday fashion at the time. The final silhouette of blazers that I generally wear is like the more full cut blazers. These things are best to wear at like more of a formal event just because they're more classically tailored. They're not slim fit, they're not oversized, they're kind of in that regular fit category. And when it comes to styling a blazer, I'm generally a white t-shirt and jeans kind of guy. I'm fully aware that more and more people are wearing like graphic tees and things like that with a blazer. But the reason I personally don't like that is just because I think a blazer is a way to elevate an outfit. And by wearing a t-shirt, you're kind of bringing it back down to a medium. Also, I personally like blazers that have interesting patterns and colors, and wearing that with like something like a graphic tee kind of just washes out the really intricate patterns that a lot of these vintage blazers had. If you're looking for a new blazer, there are options, things like Abercrombie, J. Crew, Brooks Brothers, and Todd Snyder. They all have amazing options. Personally, my favorite is Todd Snyder. But again, I would definitely recommend going vintage for something like this. Yves Saint Laurent, Armani, Halston, Prada, Ralph Lauren, all of these brands were brands that made a shit ton of blazers in the 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever have you, that you can pick up for significantly cheaper than any of the blazers that are made by any of these new companies. Also, because natural fibers were much more common in the 70s and 80s and 90s, like polyester blends weren't as common at the time, that results in just like higher quality pieces. So you're gonna get higher quality pieces at a cheaper price, and you're gonna get more interesting and experimental patterns because more people were wearing them. So a lot of these brands had to do something interesting or something creative to really stand out. The next style of jacket I have is a jacket that I legitimately think every single person should have in their wardrobe, and I don't say that lightly. A Harrington jacket is just one of those jackets that's gonna be your everyday. Your Harrington jacket's gonna be your go-to jacket. You're gonna wake up, you can throw it on with literally anything in your wardrobe, and it's gonna look good. And on top of that, there's so many Harrington jackets out there that you can really experiment with colors and textures and styles. Like this one I have that's a vintage Ralph Lauren Harrington jacket. It has this corduroy collar that I'm absolutely in love with, and it just draws the eyes, and it's something that's a little detailed but really stands out and really makes a huge difference. If you want to go for a new Harrington jacket, there are options out there such as Ralph Lauren, J. Crew, Abercrombie & Fitch again. But there are so many great vintage options that you can find at such affordable prices. It's hard for me to justify buying a new Harrington jacket. Ralph Lauren, J. Crew, Pendleton, Orville, LL Bean, all of these are brands that made really high quality Harrington jackets back in the 90s. And you can find basically any color you're looking for, you can find any pattern you're looking for, you can find any material you're looking for. It's great. Another plus with going vintage is you kind of do get this faded wash that you don't get on the new ones. Something as simple as fading can add so much character to a piece, and you really only get that when you wear it a lot over time, and that's why the vintage ones I think are so much better because they do have so much more character. In terms of styling, like I said, anything. Literally anything in your wardrobe. T-shirt, jeans, sweatpants, trousers, anything. The Harrington jackets are so classic and they're so simple that they can be dressed all the way up or all the way down. I've worn a Harrington jacket with a tie and a shirt, and I've also worn it with a battered, ripped up t-shirt, and it looks good across the entire spectrum of what you may have in your wardrobe. A few things to pay attention to when it comes to Harrington jackets is the material. I personally don't like the nylon or the cotton poly blend Harrington jackets, so I try to focus on ones that are either 100% cotton or just like a canvas material. The fourth kind of jacket you can pick up is a denim jacket. This is nothing new, but here are the design details I look out for. I want my denim jackets to be cropped, sitting at my natural waistline. Someone who's kind of a shorter guy, this can be kind of tough at times, but I found a vintage one that I really liked, and I also found a new one that I really liked. The vintage one that I'm a huge fan of is the Lee Ryder jacket, specifically the ones produced before the 1970s. The reason I like the ones produced before the 1970s is because they came without side pockets for your hands, and what that allowed the silhouette to do is stay cropped rather than elongating it to allow room for the pockets, and therefore it falls at my natural waistline. Wrangler and Levi's and all of those heritage denim brands also have vintage denim jackets that you can always find online for really affordable prices. In terms of new brands, I would really stick to those heritage brands, but one that I did actually receive in the mail recently, which is the Pool House New York cropped denim jacket, looks incredible to me. I was gifted this piece, but at the same time, I'm absolutely in love with it. And one thing I really appreciate about these is they put a lot of work into the hardware, so the buttons specifically, and it looks really, really good in my opinion. Also, the wash of the jacket is just phenomenal. Finally, the last kind of jacket that I'm going to be wearing a lot this fall is the workwear style jackets. We've all heard of the Carhartt ones, but I'll give you a few other options if you're looking for some. You can go the more classic route, which is just like cotton canvas, or you can go the slightly more elevated route, which is we're talking about like a poly suede or something along those lines. Not poly suede, the faux suede, whatever. This first one I'm showing you is from a brand called Dinner Service New York, and I absolutely am in love with it. Dinner Service New York is a brand that focuses a lot on sustainability, and that's why I'm such a fan of theirs. But at the same time, I just think this is super well-designed workwear style jacket. This second one I'm showing you is one that I picked up when I was 15 years old, and I have loved since. It's from a brand called Cutter & Buck, and you can find this jacket super cheap on eBay. I'm pretty sure Cutter & Buck is one of those brands that used to make like team gear. So you can even find, like, if you're a Packers fan, just going through eBay, I found like a Packers Cutter & Buck jacket that's the same exact silhouette. It just has like a Packers logo on it. I'm a Bears fan though, so fuck the Packers. If you're looking for some new brands, you can go Cookman, which is definitely on the more affordable end. Cookman in general just makes really good, affordable clothing. They started out making stuff only for chefs, but then the fashion community kind of caught on and they pushed in that direction, and now they're really a huge staple within the fashion community, which I just think is super cool. The next brand is Schott. These guys are just historically known for their jackets. They make incredible leather jackets. They make incredible bombers. So anything from Schott you can assure is really high quality, but you are going to have to pay the price tag. In terms of some vintage options, there are just so many, from Carhartt to Dickies to Ben Davis. Like, the brand doesn't really matter as much. What really matters is the makeup of the product. So you generally want it to be completely canvas or 100% cotton. You don't want to really mess around with those cotton poly blends. I think the Cutter and Buck jacket I have is an exception, not necessarily something that everybody should be looking for. Because I have had cotton poly workwear jackets in the past that absolutely get torn apart after the smallest amount of like wear and tear. And I'm not doing workwear, I'm just like a regular ass guy. So it's like these jackets shouldn't be falling apart, but they do. Another little jacket that I just want to throw on there is a varsity jacket. This one I was gifted to from Chevignon. I don't think you need to have multiple varsity jackets in your wardrobe just because it's such a casual piece. It's really hard to dress these up in the right way. It can be done, don't get me wrong, but I think for most people's wardrobes, it's not necessarily going to be dressed up. But a good varsity jacket is something you can find on eBay, Depop, Mercari for really, really good prices, and I don't think you should buy like a brand new one. This Chevignon one was just gifted to me, so it's like I'm gonna take it, obviously. But yeah, just like try to find one varsity jacket. It's a good bar jacket at the very least. Just something to throw on with a white t-shirt and jeans, and you can wear it to the bar, and it'll look cool, and yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I run a fashion magazine, which you guys can check out. I'm launching my own fashion brand, which I talk about in some of my other videos. And I talk about it in the magazine as well. So you guys, if you're interested, or if you like me, or if you hate me, you know, whatever you got to do, do whatever you got to do. There's all the buttons over here, so just like click one of them. Thanks. Have a good one.